This is the plaintiff, Kevin Kelly. He says he brought his motorcycle to the defendant's shop for repairs, and the defendant called him the next day and told him the thing blew up. That's right, blew up as in kaboom. The defendant told him he's lucky his mechanic wasn't injured. He's lucky he had nothing to do with it. It's the defendant's fault, and he wants to be compensated to the tune of $2,000, the bike's value. This is the defendant, Louis Brugliera. He says the plaintiff's bike showed up at his shop by tow with a detached gas tank. When he asked the guy what happened to detach the tank, he got no answer. Obviously, he did something because the thing just blew when they tried to crank it to see if the engine would turn. Bottom line, he did nothing wrong and owes nothing. He's accused of causing a Kawasaki to go kablooey.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Kevin Kelly, you are suing Mr. Brugliera, doing business as MIM Motorsports, for $2,000, the value of a motorcycle that you say he blew up. Tell me what happened here.
I bought my bike and it needed a gas tank attached.
What do you mean it needed the gas tank attached?
I had the gas tank off, needed new gas lines.
Why did it have the gas tank off?
Because the gas line fell off.
Because the gas line fell off?
Right.
Okay, but the tank itself was off?
I had to take it off to try to find out where it went.
Okay, so you took the gas tank off because the gas line was
old and brittle. It needed to be changed.
Okay, so you had been tinkering with the thing, and you couldn't get it fixed, so then you took it to them?
I brought it to him to change the gas line.
Had you brought it to another mechanic before this?
No.
Okay. All right, so you brought it to him, and what did you tell him before you... Had you ever done business with him before?
No.
And what did you tell him when you left the motorcycle there?
I told him I need the gas tank reattached and new gas lines.
What kind of motorcycle is this, by the way?
It's a Vulcan 1500 Kawasaki.
What year?
94.
94, okay. And so you drop it off, and then what happens?
He called me up the next day and said, your bike blew up.
Just like that?
Just like that.
And what did you say?
I told him I'd be in there to look at it. When I was in there, he told me, you're lucky my mechanic didn't get burnt.
Okay.
I said, why am I lucky? You're the one that blew it up.
Okay.
And then after that, he was just being a real jerk.
All right. What happened?
As he said, he brought the motorcycle in on a trailer with the gas tank off the bike. I asked him what's going on. He said, I'd like to get the gas tank put back on the bike. I'd like to get it running, change the engine oil, fix the fuel lines, directionals, horn, and the battery. So that evening, he brought it in, dropped the bike off.
How much would all that have cost? Did you give him an estimate?
No, I didn't give him an estimate.
How much would it have cost?
Roughly about $410.
Okay.
Guesstimating
all right, so what happened?
I should probably let Andy tell you.
Come on up, Andy, you the mechanic?
Let me, what I did is he came to the shop. I asked Andy, I said, this job needs to be done. Told Andy we need to get this running. I had the battery in for storage. He brought the bike in. I went home for the day, and he can take it from there.
What happened?
He charged the battery up, put the battery in. I went to crank it over, see if the engine spins. Of course, you're not going to do any work to anything if the motor doesn't spin over. As soon as I spun it over, it just lit on fire. Like maybe
where was the fire?
Out of the intake manifold.
And where were you? How close to the intake manifold?
I was standing next to it, over it, next to it.
So what happened? What'd you do when you see it on fire?
I got a fire extinguisher and put it out.
Okay. You're going to have to educate me. If the gas tank's not attached, what would be the point of turning the engine?
To make sure that it cranks over.
Make sure it cranks over, because it will still crank over.
Right, correct.
Okay. Were you smoking while you were doing this?
No.
What did, to your knowledge, what did they do other than turn the engine over?
One thing, they shouldn't have turned it over. It didn't need a battery. I told them I drove it home, and I had a gas leak, so I took the tank off to find it, and I couldn't find out
Okay,
where.
but answer what I was asking. What would be wrong with, I guess what I'm asking is, if all they did was turn it over and it blew up, what did they do wrong?
They should have had the kill switch on. You don't.
Okay, tell me,
you don't
explain
have
that
spark.
to me.
You don't have spark when you have no tank or gas lines on it. Of course it's going to blow up.
Wait, no, it's not obvious to me, so I need you to explain it to me. Go ahead.
Okay, you have a kill switch that cuts off all the spark.
Okay.
Well, he had the kill switch on. He tried
He had
to
the kill
start it.
switch, wait a minute, he had the kill switch on.
Off, I mean off.
On or off?
So it would start up.
He had the kill switch off,
Off.
so that it would start up, okay?
Right. And when he tried to turn it, the gas probably hit the spark somewhere and it blew up.
Okay, do you have any statement from another company talking about the propriety or the impropriety of turning trying to turn the engine when the gas tank is off? Like, in
No.
other words, do you have any expert testimony for me to prove your case?
I'm a mechanic for Amtrak. I got
Well,
all licensed.
you're a mechanic who couldn't handle this issue because you brought it to them as mechanics. Right. So, you know. How did this happen? Does anybody actually know how this might have happened? He had a gas leak.
The only thing I can't say for certain why it happened. I could give you a theory.
What's your theory?
Is he probably tried to get it running, fill it up with ether, starter fluid, and sprayed it in there, which is, it's a helper if you don't have gasoline, if you don't have a tank on it, and you don't have a...
What would be his point? If he doesn't have a tank on it, what would be his point in trying to get it started?
Just to see if it will run.
Okay.
Things seize up when they sit for a while. This is more than likely been sitting for a while.
Okay. Did you just buy that or no?
I bought it last year, yep.
Did you have you used it since you bought it?
Yeah, I got pictures of me on it.
Okay, let me see those. All right, so what is it you think happened?
The fuel tank's off the bike.
Right.
Okay, he drained the carburetors of all fuel. So right now there should be no fuel whatsoever.
Did you drain the carburetors of all fuel? Okay.
I did.
Go on.
So there's no fuel at all that should be there. Basically, it's all inside the motor. All those gases stayed in, they got through the carb somehow. So when he hit it and it sparked, it exploded and blew the carburetor, blew up through the carburetor. It actually blew the carburetor top right off with the bolt still staying on there. Like I said, the flames are pretty high. We got a 10-foot ceiling. It's all covered in smoke and ash.
Really? And do you have photos of the garage after the explosion?
I do.
He's a complete liar because if I did spray it, one thing in a day it would be gone. Another thing, you could smell it. Ether is very strong.
Well, what do you think they did?
They started the bike up without the kill switch on, and there was spark and there was gas.
We had never tried to start the bike either. We just tried to crank it over.
What's the difference? I use them interchangeably.
Just to make the engine spin.
What is he saying that he says you should have had the kill switch on or off?
Off.
You're
I
saying
mean on.
Yeah, you keep using them interchangeably in your complaint and in your testimony. So you've lost me, okay?
No,
what is your
on
premise?
would kill the spark.
So he should have had the kill switch on. Now, talk to me about that. What do you see?
The kill switch is wired through everything. The starter motor won't crank. It won't give it ignition. Of course, you can't turn it over if the starter motor doesn't crank.
Okay, no, I'm not understanding. So if the kill switch is on, you can't turn it over?
Right. You can hit the
so
button.
there's no point in the experiment you were trying to conduct, which is to see if it would turn over.
Correct.
That's why it's not on. All right.
Yeah, that's another reason he's lying, because it turns over as much as you want. All it's doing is killing the spark. It will turn all you want. If he knew what he was doing, he'd know that. But evidently, a bunch of clowns.
Okay, and what is your response to that? Because I have heard a little bit about the last thing he just said, which is that you just what the kill switch. Wait, I haven't asked my question, so you can't answer it yet. That the kill switch stops the spark, but that you could still hear it turning over. Is that true or not true?
It's not true. If you turn that kill switch off, you're going to get nothing when you turn that key.
To off or to on?
Oh, he's lying.
Well,
Stop.
if the kill switch is on, okay, you can crank the bike. If you shut the kill switch off, it's not going to crank at all.
And now, if you're sitting in your shop and you want to test whether the bike turns over.
Correct.
And you have the kill switch in what position?
On.
If it's on the off position, what will happen when you turn the key?
Nothing. When you turn the key and hit the start, absolutely nothing.
So I don't understand then. Are you saying the kill switch was on or off?
No, it was on so that it would crank over.
Okay. And you're saying it should have been off? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
You are? Yeah, I can't.
There's no reason to start up
Just tell me yes or no. Are you saying
I'm saying it should be off.
It should have been off?
If you're playing with gas, you don't have a live.
If the kill switch is off, he says it won't turn, and you're saying that's not true.
I think it still does turn. I'm not.
You think it still
I'm not
does turn?
100%
All right, court's
sure.
in recess, gentlemen.
All right. So is the defendant responsible for turning the ignition?
I think the defendant is responsible because he's the expert, so he should know not to turn it on.
But how else do you diagnose it other than turning it over?
Well, he should have been aware that there was something wrong with the fuel, and hence,
So it's his fault, the defendant's fault.
definitely.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
All right, here's where we are, folks. My job at this point is to decide whether you have proven that he is culpable, his shop is culpable because they did something that is such a deviation from the norm that it's ridiculous. And the words of the boss, can't start a fire without a spark. Is there a problem? Is there something that they weren't supposed to do that is so blatant, that is so wrong? Because it was another way of doing it. That's your argument. But you come into court with your hands in your pockets. You don't have an expert. You don't have a written opinion by an expert. You don't have anything. You have your flapping gums. And that's not the greatest position for you to be in. So I get off this bench and I called an expert, a Kawasaki dealer. And I asked him, a 1994 Vulcan, and I explained the situation. And, because really, in small claims, You don't have a lawyer. You don't have a lawyer. Neither one of you are making sense to me. So I'm trying to figure out, is it on? Is it off? How does this work? How does the other work? And this is what I was told by the expert that I spoke with, okay? You can't. You know how you weren't too sure at that very end when I asked you, can you turn it over with the kill switch in the down or off position? And they said, no, you can't. You said, I think you can. He says, no, you can't. Not on that model. There's others that you can, but not that model. Okay? So then what we're left with is this. There is no other way for them to see if the engine has seized other than the way they did. So is it wrong for them to test whether the engine has seized in this circumstance? When you bring it to them with a detached gas tank, you tell them that there was a leak, is it wrong for them to have tested it? And I don't see any evidence that it's so predictable that there'd be a fire that they shouldn't have done that. If the engine is seized, what's the point of all the other repairs?
I told my driver.
I don't. I'm talking now, and I'm ruling. So this is the part where you just like listen, and there's always a winner and a loser, okay? But if you want to win when you come to court, and you want me to buy into an esoteric theory about how a motor works, then you come to court with an expert, or at a minimum, a written letter by an expert who has looked at this and says this is how it happened. You have come into court completely empty-handed, forcing me to either glean what happened from you, which was very hard, or from my own expert, which is what I ended up doing. Either way, you still walk into court without a scintilla of proof that there was something that they did that deviated from the standard industry practice by attempting to turn it over. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Well, it would have helped the plaintiff a lot if he had come into court with some sort of evidence to bolster your case.
I bought my bike in to get fixed, and he burnt it up. I don't think I need any more evidence.
You do. I mean, you have to prove that they did something wrong. You have to prove what they did wrong.
Evidently they did.
And your word is not good enough. Don't you understand the judge's ruling?
No, not at all.
All right, you just head right down this way. All right, sir, so come on in here. This could be the start of something big for you. Step up here. What's your feeling on the ruling? Here, step up.
I'm very happy with the ruling because we had, like I said, it was beyond our control to have that bike just explode on him. I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, how dangerous was this for you at that moment?
I don't know.
Okay. Hey, so what do you think about one of those motorcycle fix-it shows like, Jesse James and those guys?
I like them.
You
They're
ready?
okay. Yeah,
You want
we built a couple of bikes ourselves, so we enjoy it.
So this is your audition for a show like that?
Sure, why not?
All right, okay.
Sure.
Over to Harvey.
Okay, the judge called the expert in this case, but I got to tell you, most judges don't take the time. And if you have a case where you need expert testimony and it's beyond your area of expertise, basically, unless it's an extreme situation, you're going to lose. That will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.